Have you ever stopped to think about how your computer actually knows the difference between your name and your age? I mean, really think about it. Well, that's what we're digging into today, data types. They are, quite literally, the first lesson in teaching a computer how to understand our world. So let's start with that big question. You know your age is a number, right? And your name is text. That's obvious to us. But to a computer, it's all just electricity, a stream of ones and zeros. So how on earth does it figure out that one is for counting and the other is for reading? This right here is the fundamental problem that data types were invented to solve.
And the answer is actually pretty straightforward. A data type is basically just a label. It's a tag we put on a piece of information. But here's the really important part. That label doesn't just tell the computer what the data is. No, it tells the computer what we, the programmer, plan to do with it. It's all about giving the computer context.
To make this crystal clear, let's think of it like a giant toolbox. Imagine you just threw every single tool you own into one big box. Hammers, nails, wrenches, screwdrivers. It'd be total chaos, right? You'd never find anything. Well, data types are the organizers. They're like the labeled drawers in your digital toolbox. Because from the computer's point of view, everything is just a jumble. Your name, your age, how much cash you have. Without any labels, it's all just random information. It has no way of knowing that one is text, one's a whole number, and the other might need a decimal point. It's meaningless.
So let's walk through our toolbox analogy. First, you've got your piece of info. That's your tool. Then you give it a data type. That's you putting the tool into a clearly labeled drawer. And boom, now the computer knows exactly what's possible. It knows it can do math with the stuff in the numbers drawer, but it can't do math with what's in the text drawer. That label sets the rules of the game.
All right, let's open up our very first drawer. This is probably the most common one you'll use. It's for all the basic, everyday numbers we count with. In the world of programming, we call these integers. And the definition is exactly as simple as it sounds. An integer is just a whole number. That's it. No fractions, no decimals, just clean, simple whole numbers. And this includes the whole range, negative numbers like -5, 0 itself, and of course positive numbers like 123. The rule of thumb is super easy. If it doesn't have a decimal point, it's an integer. So it could be your age, say 42. It could be the number of people in a room. It's any simple whole number. That's our integer drawer, nice and tidy.
Okay, so we've got our numbers sorted. But what about words, or names, or entire sentences? For that, we need a totally different drawer in our toolbox. So let's meet the strings. A string is, well, it's just text, but the key phrase you really want to remember is sequence of characters. That means it's not just one thing. It's a bunch of letters, numbers, and symbols all strung together in a very specific order.
And here it is, the classic. If you've ever tried to learn programming, you've seen this. Hello world is the perfect example of a string. It's a sequence of characters, letters, a space, even an exclamation point, all wrapped up in quotation marks. Those quotes are how you signal to the computer, hey, this is text, don't try to do math with it.
Now, this is a great example. You see how this sentence has letters, spaces, and even the digits 1 and 1 in it. But because they're all inside those quotation marks, the computer sees the whole thing as one single piece of text. It's a sequence of characters. So what does that word sequence really mean? It means the order is super important, and we can actually pull out individual pieces of the string based on their position. And here's a little quirk you'll find in most programming languages. They start counting from 0, not 1. So if we ask for the character at position 0, we don't get nothing. We get the very first letter, T. That's what makes it a sequence. Okay, so we have integers for our whole numbers and strings for our text. Each one is in its own neatly labeled drawer. But why? Why is this separation so critical? Let's get to the real heart of why these labels matter so much. This right here is the entire reason. Remember that Pope example? The computer sees the integer 11, and it knows you can add, subtract, multiply. You can do math with it. You can add 1 and get 12. But when it sees the string 11, which is just text that happens to look like a number, it knows you can't do that. Adding 1 to that makes absolutely no sense. The data type, that simple label on the drawer, defines what you can and cannot do. That's it. That's the big idea. So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. We've seen how computers use these really simple labels to make sense of numbers and text. And that's the foundation for everything from calculators to search engines. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. If you can create a system to organize something as basic as numbers and letters, just think, what else can a computer learn to organize? What other parts of our world can we translate into data?